Hello everyone, today we are going to be doing a manual install of WordPress. So the very first thing we're going to want to do is go download the files, and you can go to wordpress.org. You'll see they have a download button, or up here in the menu they've got a download option there as well. And when you click on that you get the download page, and you'll want to click on download the WordPress files and select to save those. It's relatively small, so it should not take long at all to download. And as you can see here, it's completed and we have the WordPress zip ready to go. So we'll open that zip file, and you should see inside of it, it's got another WordPress directory, and this is what we need. So you'll want to extract this to somewhere that's easy for you to get to. In my case, I'm just going to drag this over onto the desktop like so. It should extract pretty quickly. And now we have our WordPress folder over here, so we can close that. And if you open the folder, you'll see we've got all of our WordPress files. So we're all set for that. Now the next step will be an FTP client. If you've already got one, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just open that and you're ready to go. If you don't have one, FileZilla is a good free option. It's filezilla-project.org, and you'll see a download link there. And then you have Windows, Linux, Mac, and you can select the one you need and go ahead and download that client. So once we've downloaded FileZilla, or you've opened up your existing FTP application, you'll launch that and you want to connect. So you put in your host, your username, your password. This will come from your hosting provider. Usually it's going to be your domain name and then your username and password that they've given you. If you have to, you'll want to contact them and double check that, but you should have that in one of your setup emails. Now once you've connected, you'll see you've got a list of folders and files over here, and you want to look for the public HTML folder and go ahead and open that. So now you'll see we've got that open, and you'll want to take your WordPress directory here, select all of the files there, and then drag them here to the folder you'd like. Now if you want to have, say, a blog folder for a subdomain, then you'll want to create that folder or open that folder. In my case, I'm installing it directly to the domain, so I'll just go right into public HTML and select the files and drag and drop, and you'll see it's got queued files, 1,000 some files. It'll take a couple of minutes to actually upload all of those files now. So while our files are all uploading, we can go back to our browser and go log into our hosting control panel. And once you're in your control panel, you want to find the section for databases. And you're looking for the area where you can create your database. In this case, it's going to say MySQL databases. You'll click on that, and you have a page that looks much like this. So you have the first option, create new database, which we want to do. So we'll call it WordPress. And we'll create that database. And you'll get a page like that showing you that the database has been added. Now that we've got the database, go ahead and click to go back. And you'll see below the current databases, you'll find this section here that says Add New User. So we want to add a user there. We'll just use Word. And now this password it's going to ask you for, you're going to use this one time during the install. So you do want to make sure it's a pretty secure password that no one's going to be able to guess, that sort of thing. And you don't have to worry about it being a password you have to memorize, because you're not going to use it except for the install. So you want to write it down to install, and then you don't have to worry about it again. In my case, I'm just going to use test123 for our test install here, and then you click the create user button. And once you've done that, you'll see it's added the user with the password, and you're all set for that portion. So now that we've got the user, we'll go back once more and scroll down to the bottom where you'll see this section here that says Add User to Database. And so you'll select your user, your database, and then go ahead and click Add. And that will bring up a page like this that gives you privileges. In our case, we're just going to select all privileges, and then go ahead and make changes. So we're all set there, and our database is created, our database user is created, so we've got that all ready to go for the install. Now that that is done, we'll go back and check our files. Looks like they've completed, so we've got everything uploaded, and we can check that here and see that all of it's there. So now we are set to go to our website, and you'll bring up your domain name, and you should see a page like this. It's going to say there doesn't seem to be a WP config file. That's completely normal, and what we'll want to do is click on the Create a Config File button. And once you've clicked on that, you'll see it's going to tell you you need some information. Now all of this information is what we had there in the control panel that we just created. So your database name, the username, the password, all of that we've created. So we can go ahead and say let's go, and it's going to ask us for that information. So we'll just go back here, copy our database name, and place that in there. Then we'll go back, copy our database user, place that in there, and then our password, which was test123. Now for the database host, in most cases localhost is what you'll want to use. Your hosting provider might vary slightly, so if localhost for some reason gives you an error connecting, you may have to check with them for the actual database host, but in almost all cases localhost is going to work fine. And then the last thing will be table prefix. The WP underscore is just fine there, so we'll go ahead and leave that default in there, and we can go ahead and then click submit. So we've clicked submit, and you'll get a page telling you that it's all good and everything is ready to run the install. So you want to go ahead and click run the install, and you get this page here. This page is going to ask you some information, not about the server, but about you essentially. So the site title, which is just the title you want for your site, we'll just say site title, and then a username, so I'll leave it as admin, and then a password. And this username and password you'll want to write down because this is used for the dashboard of WordPress. So I'm going to use test123 again for our example here. And then you'll want to put in your email address here, and that is used if you forget your password. You can reset and it will email to that address. You can also, when you make posts on your blog, it will have your email address so that people can send messages to you essentially. So we want to put in our email address, and then privacy. You want this checked unless you're running some sort of private blog where it's just for say some family members or something like that. What this is doing is allowing search engines to list your site. So in our case, we're going to leave that checked. And then we want to go ahead and click Install WordPress. So it's gone ahead and installed, and you'll see that it says success. Username is admin, your password, whatever you typed in, and you'll now have the option to log in. So we'll click login, we'll put in our admin and our pass123. And there we have the dashboard. So now one thing to pay attention to on a new install, sometimes you can have updates that are necessary. So it means a plugin or a theme has an update available. So if you see updates with a number here, go ahead and click on that, and you'll see it'll show you what it is. So in this case it's a plugin. You just check the box next to the plugin, click update, and it'll do all of the updating for you. So it says it's now updated. If we click back, it's all gone and everything's up to date now. So at that point, your WordPress is installed and it's all ready to go for you.